Has this ever happened to you? You give a man your time, your attention, your energy, and yet he loses interest, distances himself, and treats you like you are just one of many. You feel that burning frustration. The more effort you put in, the more he pulls away, and you are left confused and powerless. Maybe you have tried everything, being the perfect girlfriend, the passionate lover, the understanding partner. You have given him second, third, even 10 chances. You have justified his coldness, rationalized his indifference, and still nothing. He remains this frustrating mystery that seems on the verge of surrendering to you but never actually does. Today, you will discover a brutal truth, a truth that will shake the understanding of attraction and forever change your relationship with men. And that truth is the male ego. This sensitive yet powerful entity does not respond to kind words or desperate efforts. It responds to what you make him feel, and when you know exactly how and where to touch these emotional strings, when you understand his deeper psychology, you can radically change how he perceives you. You can make him crave you with an intensity that surprises even him. Think of you day and night, seek you with an urgency that overwhelms him, and all of this without taking even one step forward. No, this is not cheap manipulation for egomaniacs. It's about understanding the male mind from a position of strength, from the depth of psychology, and using this knowledge to your advantage with calmness, presence, and emotional strategy, like a truly confident woman. A man's ego operates on a different system than that of an average woman. Women long to be admired and respected for their accomplishments. Men, on the other hand, at their deepest core, long to be unique and chosen. They want selective attention, constant confirmation of their attractiveness and power, and yes, often also emotional control over the relationship. Inside them is a little recognition hungry boy in the body of a seemingly confident adult. Every gesture of admiration feeds him, every hint of neediness from you inflates his ego even more. That's why the game loses its charm when a woman reacts predictably, when he knows exactly how she will respond to his behavior. But precisely here, in this apparent strength, lies his Achilles heel and your greatest strategic opportunity. This is the secret that few knows and even fewer apply. If you, with the wisdom of a confident woman, interrupt that constant stream of validation he expects and that most women serve him on a silver platter, if you stop being his predictable source of admiration and security, you leave him emotionally in the dark. And this vacuum, this sudden absence of your affirming mirror, awakens something incredible in him. The urgent need to reassert himself through you, to regain that special feeling you subtly took away. That's exactly where the spark or of obsession begins. Every time you chase him after he has pulled away, every time you over explain, beg for a chance, desperately prove how much he means to you, each time you just inflate his ego further. And an inflated ego, mark this well, does not love. It only enjoys the power over your submission. He always wants more, but he will never respect you more. In fact, the more you feed this egocentric beast, the less he will value you because you have shown you're willing to degrade yourself for him. You must learn to break this dynamic and create a new one in which you are an unattainable prize, one in which he constantly wonders if he still matters to you, if he still has any power over you at all. How do you achieve this? With three deadly weapons of psychology: emotional sarcasticity, selective silence, and strategic withdrawal. Men, contrary to what you have been led to believe, don't obsess over boring, predictable stability offered by a good and agreeable woman. They fall for the emotional intensity, the roller coaster of feelings, the challenge presented by a woman they can't fully read or control. Think about it. How often have you seen a man chasing a woman who treats him badly, while ignoring another one who would give him the world? This isn't masochism. His primitive brain links challenge with value. What's easy to get can't be that valuable. That's how his subconscious works. I'm not talking about toxic behavior or artificially created drama. I'm talking about emotional unpredictability, calculated, applied, about breaking his expectation. If every time he pulls away or cold, you respond with even more neediness or pleading. He will only lose more interest or take control. But if you, in the moment he emotionally withdraws, walk away with the quiet determination, with an attitude that shows your life doesn't revolve around him, without explanation, without drama, then he enters a quiet but powerful emotional crisis. And that, my dear, is where obsession begins. What did I do? Has she stopped caring? Has she replaced me? It's like you secretly changed the rule of the game and now he longer have no idea how to win this game. Every man wants to feel desire, that's a deep need, but no man wants to feel like he has you for sure, like you are a guaranteed possession. The paradoxical truth is, the more secure you feel having him, the less attractive you become to him. The more secure he feels having you, the less he invests in the relationship. So, how do you play this delicate yet explosive balance? By showing interest, limited and measured. Yes, show him that he fascinates you, but never that you need him or that he is the center of your universe. Cut the contact exactly when he expects more. At the height of a good conversation, when the connection is strong, be the one who ends the call or leaves first. Leave him wanting more. That's a master stroke against his ego and his need to keep control. Don't give him the power to determine the dynamic of your relationship. You set the pace, you decide when you are available. Imagine this situation. He sends you a vague message, one of those texts that could mean anything, perhaps just to test your reaction. The average woman responds with uncertainty, seeks explanations, asks for clarity. A confident woman, on the other hand, pulls back. She might leave the message unanswered for a long time or respond briefly, neutrally, without any trace of neediness, not out of childish pride, but from emotional strength. This reaction destroys his entire strategy. He expected you fear, but you got difference. Your silence, that deliberate, controlled silence, is one of the most powerful and destructive weapons you can use. When he is used to your constant voice, your explanation, your predictable presence, your sudden withdrawal creates a deafening void. And in that void, his mind fills with questions, doubts, and eventually obsession. This sense of uncertainty, not provoked by him but deliberately created by you, disrupts his power pattern. It knocks him off balance. It forces him to reconnect with you emotionally because suddenly, with a sharp sting to his ego, he feels he should lose you for no clear reason. And this very feeling of an imminent and explained loss can destroy him internally. It makes him think about you constantly. And paradoxically, he begins to desire you more than ever before. A man can resist 1,000 logical arguments, ignore 100 declarations of love, but he cannot ignore the weight that a woman with clear emotional direction radiates. A woman who doesn't bow to his moods, who doesn't react to his provocations, who doesn't need his approval to feel complete. Your presence must radiate absolute self control, a powerful silence that speaks louder than 1,000 words, an energy focused primarily on yourself, your mission, your growth, not on him. When a woman moves through life, this unshakable certainty, something deeply primitive activates in the male brain. He instinctively recognizes that he is facing someone truly special, someone who can't be tamed by the usual tricks. Remember this well. A man doesn't become obsessed with the woman who offers him endless, unconditional love like a servant. He becomes obsessed with the woman who is an elegant emotional mystery, a prize he could lose if he doesn't work for it. Every time you try to convince him that you are a good woman, that you deserve his attention, that you make a great partner with him, you lose power. You inflate his ego and at the same time becomes less attractive for him. It's as if you are saying, please value me. And even if you never say those words out loud, they echo in every desperate gesture. But a man will never truly value what he is begged to appreciate. He only value what he believes he could lose. Respect, admiration, and genuine desire are not begged for on your knees. They are triggered through strategic silence, calculated withdrawal, and deliberate scarcity of validation. Let him feel the stark difference between having you, thinking that he had you, and clearly not having you anymore. Let him see that your life doesn't go on, it thrives without him. Let him feel with a sting of doubt that and a regret that you have truly lost interest. When he realizes you are not just surviving without him but flourishing, that you shine brighter when you are not in his shadow, something in him will break. That strikes his ego in the most effective way. With no direct aggression, no harsh words, just your calculated indifference and visible progress. Don't say it with accusations, show it with the undeniable facts. Rise in every area of your life, physically, mentally, professionally, socially. Let him see, or at least let him hear, that you are going out with interesting people. No bragging, just by fully living your life. Radiate confidence and irresistible charm so clearly that he realizes out there is a sea of possibilities and you are not passively waiting for him to finally appreciate you. Invest in yourself as you were the most important project. Every day you don't invest in yourself is a day you give yourself, your former self, the one who begged for attention and advantage. Your new self should be so magnetic, so fascinating, so full of her own energy that he can't help but feel that letting go was the biggest mistake of his life. When a man feels emotionally compared, not because you directly compare him, but because he senses that he is no longer your only option, no longer the center of your world, then his mind spirals. Then the burning desire is born for what he no longer possesses. His wounded pride demands restoration, and the ego that once fed comfortably off your constant attention goes into high alert. And an ego in crisis will do anything to win back its lost source of validation. Ignore them with almost offensive elegance as if they mean nothing to you. He tries to guilt trip you or emotionally manipulate you. Don't play along. Don't be automatically available when you suddenly break out of the unusual rhythm. When you stop dancing to his music, he loses emotional control over the situation, and almost inevitably, he begins to dance to your rhythm, to the beat that you set with your strategic indifference and your inner strength, as if you had secretly taken over the remote control of your relationship. Now you are the one who decides when there is a closeness, when there is a distance, and when there is drama, and when there is peace. And this shift in power confuses him deeply. When you finally take full control of your emotions and stop craving attention as if it were necessary for survival, something magical happens. He begins to feel, with the mix of frustration and fascination, that you are the only woman he cannot control emotionally, the one who doesn't fall for his usual tricks, and that drives him crazy because in his mind, being perhaps used to dominating women or wrapping them around his finger, he controls everyone except you, and that very loss of control robs him of inner peace. It creates a consuming restlessness. That restlessness, that unresolved tension, is exactly what links him to you obsessively. You become a riddle that he can't solve, a song he can't get out of his head, a thought that haunts him before falling asleep, and is right there again when he wakes up. Not because you are dramatic or conflict driven, but because you are unpredictably calm and deliberately indifferent. Always remember, a man can resist your most important words, your most logical arguments, but he cannot ignore the emotional vacuum you create with your strategic absence. Your calculated indifference hits him deeper than any explanation. Don't punish him with anger. Don't scream your frustration at him. Don't explain your new strategy that would be like betraying yourself. Just disappear strategically from his emotional radar. Work on yourself as if your life depends on it. Your self worth no longer depends on his recognition. If you can make a man feel that he cannot control you, that he cannot predict your reactions, that he can never be a certain of your reactions, then you activate in him a deep, almost primitive urge, the drive to prove you that he still matters, maybe more than it appears. You become a constant presence in his thoughts, not just another woman on his list. You become a silent obsession, a mystery he cannot give up, even if he tries to ignore you. That, my dear, is true power. The power of a woman who has mastered her own mind and within the emotional dynamic. And here comes the most important point of all. When you reach this level of personal strength, when you develop this emotional mastery, then it no longer matters whether he falls in love with you or gets lost in you, because you have found something far more valuable than any man's obsession: your own unshakable power, your own unconditional worth, and your own ability to create the life you truly deserve. Remember one crucial thing: you don't have to force anything or beg anyone for attention. The real magic, the real power lies in being emotionally desired, in being in with the wisdom and strategy leaves just enough space for him to feel the potential loss, the absence of your value. That is exactly what automatically triggers the desire in him. He begins to question his own behavior. He starts to seek you, to need you, and all of that without you taking even the slightest visible step toward him. And this genuine desire, born from his own reflection and bruised ego, is what drives him into obsession, into a constant craving of your validation, your attention, your presence. And let me repeat it because it's vital you internalize it. This is not manipulation, it is understanding how the male ego works, and more broadly, the human ego. It's the decision to no longer feed that ego with your neediness, your submission, and your predictability. It is applied psychology, it is the recognition of emotionally patterns and the conscious choice to stop feeding toxic one in order to activate healthy dynamics. You aren't the one who has to constantly prove her worth. He needs to feel deeply that he can lose you if he doesn't appreciate you, respect you, invest in your connection. And when he does feel that, when his ego feels the blow of your calculated indifference, your strategic silence, your deliberately offered emotional sarcasticity, then he will begin to seek you with a new urgency, truly appreciate you, become obsessed with you. But by that time, you will already on a whole new level, the level of self awareness and inner strength, where his obsession no longer defines you.